Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Is Krull a dog? No.
Okay, but if you want to watch some Krull, I'm down to watch some fucking Krull. There's
All
like
right.
a Cyclops man in it. That's kind of a dog. Fuck it. I don't care. Let's watch some fucking Krull. Do you have Krull?
I do have Krull.
You have Krull? Krull fucking slaps. Let's watch Krull.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
On a distant planet, a great kingdom was ravaged by beings who came from the future to conquer the universe. What is about to happen to them could never have happened on Earth.
All right, so we watched Krull. Welcome to Rough Cuts. My name is Ilyon. This is my wonderful co-host Boix.
Hello.
And we have special guest host today, AndyAML.
How you doing?
Good. How are you
Welcome, Andy.
doing?
You watched
Oh, you know,
Krull.
pretty all right. Just watched Krull, so that's a story.
Good 9 a.m. Sunday day for you. I guess that it's a lot later for you, but still.
It was noon, I think, when we started up.
Yeah, we have Boix and I are more adventurous. We have Krull before noon.
It's
Noon somewhere.
I mean, Krull before noon's illegal in some countries,
But it's always noon somewhere. It's fine. We're good.
Yeah. Why did we pick Krull again? So we had a list of like 4 movies, right?
Well, the reason why we picked Krull is because Krull fucking slaps. That's why we picked Krull. Because you had a bunch of movies on VHS and you were trying to get us to do all of them, and then you're like, well, I also have this weird Krull tape somewhere, and I went, what the fuck? You have Krull? And you've never watched Krull?
Originally, we were supposed to... Actually, is this a spoiler? Are we trying to keep this secret?
No, you can.
we can talk. Yeah.
Because originally we were supposed to watch Surf Ninjas, because a Game Gear is basically
It's
a dog.
It's a dog, yeah.
And then somehow the concept of Krull came up. I think you were digging through your tapes, and then it just became, we're watching Krull now, actually.
And it was the
I
correct
think we made
choice.
a good choice, though, right? Like, yeah.
Krull was good.
Krull.
Krull was
yeah.
it was an entertaining time, yeah.
Krull is a masterpiece. It's weird because people at the time criticized it for being a Star Wars ripoff, and that was immediately you both were like, "Oh, it's a Star Wars ripoff," and it's like, not really.
It's Star Wars in that it has the same opening shot and lasers, and that's kind of it.
It does have stormtroopers. That's true.
It's wild how much, though, if you look at like criticisms of the time, everybody's just like, "Oh, it's just a Star Wars knockoff," and I'm like, I mean, is Krull a good movie? No. Is Krull an excellent movie? Yes. Is Krull a Star Wars movie? Fuck no. Krull is like, as I described, it's Might and Magic, the movie. It's an old, like, Dragon Riders of Pern. Yeah. Like, it's like that 80s techno fantasy, the Warlock series. I'm just going to go off on every weird niche, like, techno fantasy that nobody knows but me.
It's like if you took Willow and gave it laser guns.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a high-budget film, right? Like $30 million for 83.
Yeah, it was actually surprisingly... Some of the shots were really good. Like, the entire web cave sequence, that was actually really cool with the spider.
They have some really good set pieces a couple of times. And they have some really bad set pieces a couple of other times. This is a movie of contrasts.
Are you trying to imply that 5 uninterrupted minutes of mountain climbing is maybe not the best choice?
Look, they had
that helicopter budget for a whole day.
Footage. Yeah, all of it.
They had that helicopter all fucking day, and they weren't gonna just leave it at one. No, oh my god, the space rocks, like them climbing the fortress too, like how obviously plastic Star Trek rock that thing was. It's great. Super good. Like,
it's great.
But then at the same time, like, they have like the big swamp scene, and honestly, the swamp looks really good.
Yeah, that actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, like, their sets don't always look good, but they're really charming, because there's a lot of practical effects, right?
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
This would look way worse with just all green screen. And there are some early green screen stuff in this movie, like when they're riding on horses and whatnot. But
yeah.
like,
You can tell, especially when they try to do stuff like the passing the fire between their hands sequence, like that is really obvious.
Oh yeah. There some of the effects certainly do not hold up, but also at the same time, like it's 83. So I mean and a lot of the stuff is pretty good. Like the one that really got me, there's a couple of interesting gore moments actually.
Oh yeah.
The changeling death in the swamp is like it was made extra good because of the tracking, because Boyks has his VHS tape of this.
Oh man, yeah, we're watching this on VHS. I have a copy of the movie that has sarcastic tracking, apparently. And anytime there's a scene that's like really funny for it to break on, it just sarcastically starts breaking and like, hey, this scene, it's so good.
The middle of the first kiss between our lead and his fiance, in the middle of like the swell of music, it just goes. Like,
it's like when you see those alternating caps memes, like, bro, I love my wife.
It's a super beam built into my tape. I don't even.
Oh my god!
It was ahead of its time. Just kiss your nose. Oh.
Perfectly timed.
Too romantic for this tape to handle.
The sarcastic tracking. Holy shit. Yeah,
but
wow.
The changeling kill in the swamp, it has like the head get all like weird and blackened and bloated, and then it like squeals and like wiggles away under the sand, which was kind of
they did that a couple times.
Mm-hmm,
I think it was like earlier on, and then they kind of just stopped doing it. Like they just kind of got zapped and disappeared.
Yeah, the changing kind is just like, I'm gonna leave the film now. Goodbye. I'm out.
Yeah, well, like that's the thing is they killed that one changeling with the big bloated head, and then it slithers underground. And then the only other changeling in the movie is this woman that's like, "Oh, I want to fuck the main character. Well, actually, I want to fuck him so bad that I actually love him." And then the bad guy goes, well, she can't betray me," and he just like does a hand wave.
Remote wife destruction.
Yeah.
The DM
remove his VHSs, and she just disappears.
Okay, Boyks, you joke that they're just popping out of the movie, like they have to leave the movie now, but have you considered the way like half the cast enters the movie?
Half the cast
literally just falls in from off screen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the first character that we get to that's not. I mean, okay, so we start out with Corwin.
Corwin is his name.
Corwin.
Is it Corwin?
I think it's Corwin or Colwyn. Yeah,
I think it's Colwyn. Oh my god!
Did they put that on the back of the box or no?
Colwyn or Corwin?
I put the box away
on the back of the box. On the back of the box, it just says Corwin.
Because I remember Boyks, you mentioned that they don't even have the name of the princess on the back of the box.
No,
it's just
they don't.
I mean, she wasn't super important to the plot in a lot of ways, but
no.
So Colwyn is a warrior who's about to get married to this woman that he likes. I don't know, and they're going to join their two kingdoms.
Princess Lissa.
Yes, Princess Lissa. And then they'll join their two kingdoms, and he'll lead their army against the Slayers, which are the minions of the Beast, which we saw come from the stars.
Who were at a gore concert in the woods. Yeah.
Well, it really does just like footage of a mosh pit, for the first time they show up.
Yeah, they're all on horseback, waving torches, wearing the most absolutely ridiculous plastic armor imaginable.
Because Colwyn shows up at the castle, Prince Colwyn, with an entourage, I guess. But he shows up at the big fuck-off door that they open up.
Oh, God, the door with the best lock in the world, do you mean?
Yeah.
The weird mustache
they
boomerang
ride
look.
in, and as they're riding in to go have their wedding, there's all these knights slamming a sword on their chest, going like, wedding, 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 wedding.
As you do at a wedding.
Slayers gore, you know?
Yeah.
People
the
outside are like,
in the woods is having a time too, yeah. And then they come charging in. They just mid-wedding, they kill everybody and
yeah,
abscond with Princess Lissa.
Lissa.
Sorry, Lissa.
Lissa.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lissa. So it
She's
really doesn't
barely a
matter what anybody's
character,
names are.
unfortunately. Yeah.
But they abscond with her, and he gets shot, and he's on the ground. And then we have like our first Deus Ex character, where suddenly there's just a guy who's like, "Yeah, I'm the old man of the mountain, and I decided that now's the time that I should come down because I'm the wise old man. I don't know, I'm here now. Don't worry about it." The way that everybody introduces themselves in this movie.
They
Because then
really love the characters that solve one problem and nothing else.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like the guy just shows up and starts rubbing a bunch of like jam on his face,
Yes.
which wakes Colwyn up. And then Colwyn's like, everybody I know is dead. The princess I was gonna marry is gone. My whole life's ruined. And this guy's just like, dude, chill. Why are you so fucking negative? Grow up.
You're a king now.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
God,
come on."
you're looking at this like you lost a bride and a father, and I'm looking at this like you gained a kingdom that's totally dead. Look at all these dead bodies that you now
Look
lord
at all
over.
your dead friends around you. Grow up. Stop being such a baby.
Wow.
Really amazing moment.
What?
And then they start. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna lead you to where you can start your quest and like find the Black Fortress. And as he starts leading him away, a meteorite hits a fucking river next to them, and you're introduced to the next character because that's how everybody intros in this movie.
Yeah, it's a meteorite. I thought it was it's literally fireworks being
It's
shot into a
fireworks,
pond.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, this character just falls out of the sky through some fireworks into a pond. He's like, "Oh no, I'm here now. My name's Ergo. I'm a wizard or whatever." Anyways, bye.
I mean, is he a wizard? I'm not sure what he's doing.
Is he a druid? I don't know what he
Like-
is.
He turns into animals, but he never casts like fireballs or anything like that.
Yeah.
No. And he says that he's going to turn other people into animals, but he never manages to do that. He only manages to turn himself into animals. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to be because he's incompetent or because his power is just a shapeshift or... And like, can he
I
shapeshift
don't
into
know.
inanimate objects? Like, how did he come from a firework? We didn't ever see... That was never
Yeah.
explained because the rest of the movie, all he transforms into is animals.
Yeah, I think his power is that he's really good at the community theater.
Oh, God.
Right.
He's...
Oh, is he ever?
Yeah.
Oh, he stands up and he like introduces his character like he's in a high school play. It's so good. He's like, "My name is Ergo the Magnificent, and I am as tall as a mountain, and my power is as tall as a mountain, and I am short as a like." He just does this whole thing. It's so
Yeah.
good.
The forest is not safe. You best travel with us.
Me? Travel with you? Do you know who I am?
No.
Eric Idle?
I am Ergo the Magnificent.
Oh.
Short in stature, tall in power, narrow of purpose, and wide of vision.
God, this movie is it's an objectively bad movie in a lot of ways, but it just believes in itself enough to be very fun to me.
Yeah, it's all played completely straight.
Yes,
I think that's
it
the
has
important thing.
no thought that this is like tongue-in-cheek at all.
So before Ergo showed up,
Mhm.
the old man that told Colwyn to stop being such a baby just because all of his family died and
Mhm.
everybody knows and everybody he loves is dead.
Mhm.
Grow up. He tells him you need the glaive to deal with the beast. So we will go get the glaive.
Yes.
And then they stumble upon an obstacle course after climbing for 20 minutes of real time.
Very,
From a
very
helicopter
brief
shot.
Takashi's castle sequence, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And after they get through the boulder obstacle course mini game,
Mhm.
then he finds the glaive in a cave, and it's covered in a cookie crust that he has to break before he can eat it.
I think it was implied that it was like lava or magma or something, but like
Oh, maybe.
he just kind of
Yes.
reached his hand into the goop and picked it out like it was no big deal.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It looks very much like it's supposed to be like active magma, like this is a volcano, but he just reaches in, picks it up, magma rock that's on it
Sure.
just crusts, and he just goes, and just like brushes it off. Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
Which
And
makes
I
sense
think-
for later. Hey, maybe that was foreshadowing for his later power up. You don't know.
Like, so the important thing though is that after he gets the glaive, he's like, he goes back to the old guy. He's like, "Hey, I got the glaive. Look, I got it." And then the old guy gives him some really good advice. Andy, do you remember what advice he gave him?
Yeah. He told him specifically, don't use the glaive until it's time.
Yeah, never
When is it
practice
time? Oh,
this.
you'll know.
Never.
Mhm.
Don't even think
Don't
about
practice,
this.
though.
Yeah.
It's way too powerful to use normally. Don't use it yet.
If
Well, but
any
if it's really
Slayers try to
powerful-
kill you, you do not use that glaive.
Don't touch it. It's a really bad idea.
It's no good.
And the glaive, by the way, we need to point out, is a switchblade fidget spinner.
It's so fucking good. This design is
Yeah.
incredible. I love that they call it a glaive, which is actually a real life weapon and nothing at all like a switchblade fidget spinner.
They did kind of the same thing with if you ever played like the Xbox game, the 360 game Dark Sector and later Warframe, they had like a
Yes.
boomerang weapon and that called the glaive too, and I wonder if that was a reference to Krull.
Oh, it was
Oh, it could've
100% a
been.
reference to
Yeah.
Krull. Yeah, no, that was well known. Yeah, no, that's exactly
Yeah.
what that was.
Back to Ergo. So Ergo wasn't actually going to go with our Prince Colwyn. He was just going to
Yes,
fuck off into the
until-
forest. But he ran into a pervert cyclops that is just like staring at him seductively.
They share
Which
a
creeped
long
him
moment.
out.
They look deep into each other's souls. The Cyclops always has this really soft smile on his face, which kind of just makes
Because
this.
that makeup.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's good. It's good. It actually looks pretty solid. I think that
It looks good. I just feel bad for the actor who was apparently rendered blind by the prosthetic,
yeah.
just completely covering his eyes.
Mhm.
Yes. But as a
But
prosthetic,
because-
it looks really good.
It does look good. Yeah, I mean, it looks fine. It looks like a what is it? Like the old stop motion, like Argonauts, Hercules and those types of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. He looks like a little rubber monster, kind of.
Yeah.
They rubberized the top of his face into a single eye.
The pervert is watching Ergo, so I'm gonna keep calling him pervert because the Cyclops is definitely a pervert.
I love
There is a lot of unresolved sexual tension between him
There is
and
so
Ergo.
much.
I was gonna say, I don't think that he's a pervert. He's just got. Listen, him and Ergo have a special connection. I don't
He
want
just
you to
met the love
sully
of his
that.
life. He would understandably be
Mhm.
speechless.
So Ergo leaves because he doesn't know what to do and he's spilling spaghetti everywhere. So he goes with Colwyn to try and
Yeah.
get away from his romantic engagement with this Cyclops, right? And then, as they're just wandering away, they stumble upon the next set of characters that need to join the party. Like, it feels like a DM like speedrunning. Like everybody's already built their character sheets, but we need to
Mhm.
get them into the game.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. They all have individual names. Like when you look at the cast at
Yeah.
the end of this, it all has like names like Oswin and Quain and Meenog and all this stuff, and it's like
Yeah,
it doesn't introduce a single fucking name for any of these
One of
people.
those-
Fuck, I
was
can barely
Whip
remember
Guy.
the main character's
I
name.
don't know his name, but he was Whip Guy. Yeah.
Well, Whip Guy was the best. Whip Guy and Joe,
Yeah.
I think those are my favorites.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
Joe the
definitely a fan of
electrician,
Joe. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a guy here that has just like the most handyman like mustache and haircut possible, and he's basically wearing coveralls, and he's just got a spear, and he's one of the robbers for this group.
There's a non-zero chance he was just working on like electricity for that day, and they were like, "You want like $100? You can be an extra in the movie.
Yeah, you want to make
Mhm.
a film? Okay.
He's like,
We'll give you
alright,
some
I
speaking
guess.
lines. It'll be great."
So, but Colwyn stumbles upon these thieves, and they're
Yes.
like, "Yeah, we're gonna rob you. Would you rob a king?" I mean, yeah, that probably means
Yes!
you have more money.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
That would be the
Probably.
best target to rob.
But how could you rob a king who can give you such lucrative things as freedom and exposure? I'll pay you in nothing.
I'll
Give
retweet
me
you on
thine
my kingly
Instagrams.
Instagram.
Retweet on Instagram.
That's how it works. Yeah,
That's how you know
it works.
he's bullshit. That's how you know he
Exactly.
doesn't even
That's
have
how
any
you know
clout.
that Colwyn's full of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So of course the
Mhm.
thieves think, "Oh, exposure and retweets. I'm in. I'm
Holy
in."
shit. On thine kingly only the king has the Instagram password encoded into the back of this glaive amulet that you have.
Because it's literally just like they see a necklace and they're like, okay, we're in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a glaive holy symbol necklace thing, and they're like, "Holy shit! All right, fine, sounds great." And so
And
then
this whole scene where the thieves are joining, again, the pervert Cyclops is just watching them, eyeing
He just
Ergo.
the first half of the movie is him just kind of seductively watching everybody. It's great.
Yeah. They go on a little bit more of an advent. They keep going on for a while too, and then that's also where the Cyclops saves his love at one point because Ergo is just standing there taking a leak, and there's a Slayer that's pointing a gun at him, and the Cyclops shows up and Deus Ex spears the Slayer, which happens about 4 or 5 different times.
So many times. Yeah.
And it's
every time
extremely hype every time.
It's so good. You're always like, oh, somebody's about to get ambushed by a Slayer, and then you hard cut to like Cyclops sprinting through the woods with this big 3-pronged spear thing, and the spear shoots out like electric red lightning, which is really interesting. There's this backstory at one point where, so like the Slayer came from the stars. These people apparently know that there's space travel, because they even talk about a prophecy of a king and a queen are going to unite, and then that their son will rule the galaxy. But they all just live in castles and have swords.
Yeah. Like, galactic travel is never really brought up outside of the Beast maybe knowing about it, but like everybody else is just kind of like, we like living here on Krull. Krull's all right.
Yeah, Krull's good. I don't know. We don't really need space travel.
Like,
we'll do it eventually, I suppose. But yeah, so they have all of this stuff going on, and there's the background of the Cyclopses is that they made a deal. They came from beyond the stars too, from another planet like Krull, but they swore to serve the Beast, and they gave up their eye so that they could see into the future, but the Beast is a nasty man and only gave them the ability to see their own deaths in an epic prank, bro.
Yeah, it was an epic prank, and if they ever defy that death, they'll suffer a death.
A great pain of some sort that is never really specified.
A different death. They'll die some other way. What?
They'll immediately unlock Final Destination, I guess.
Yeah, what? Okay, but yeah, so the Cyclops saves his boyfriend, Ergo, and then decides to follow them. So then they wander into a magic cave by going into a green portal in the side of a wall, where they find a wizard pondering his orb.
They sure do. Also, I love this wizard. This wizard's the fucking best.
It's so good.
Like, it is textbook template wizard pondering his orb.jpg when they get into the cave with him.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He's extremely on that shit, too. They have a whole thing with the wizard where he never opens his eyes. He's just kind of like...
Yeah.
He's just sitting there with like his eyes squinted as hard as he can at all moments. And in fact, they even use that later. Like, you'd think that it's like, oh, this actor's just really old or something, and they're not really playing that up. But he gets, spoiler alert, he gets changelinged 5 minutes later from now. Some weird thing. There's the thing that comes down and takes his body. And they play that up by having the thing open its eyes where he can't. And have, like,
he can't. Because they try to contact the wizard because they want to know where the castle goes to, the Beast Castle, which
because it disappears every day.
Yep.
Every day. So they're on a time limit, like a video game, and a randomizing castle location to find this castle. And their wizard, who has the power of orb pondering, can find it. So as he's like astral projecting the location of this castle, the Beast Claw comes up and crushes his orb.
Yeah, there's a hologram hand from the Beast that just destroys the orb.
The Beast can also see into the astral planes and is like, yo, quit peeping my shit.
Quit peeping. And more importantly, the wizard not only has a boy apprentice, I guess, But he also has incredibly small stools for everyone to
The
sit
world's
on.
tiniest
Oh
stool.
my god, I forgot about
Just
the
because he
tiny
likes to
stool.
play pranks on people. He loves to play
Yeah, I'm
pranks.
sure that this was just to
Prank
fuck with
wizard.
them. Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of good candidates for the image that you want to use for this podcast, but like the tiny stool, I think it's up there.
Yeah, that's pretty high
Like
up.
either that or the Cyclops seductive smile, because they're both very good.
So, like, they need the wizard to figure out where to go. So they encourage this elderly man who can barely walk to follow them. The whole time he's like, I'm gonna die if I follow you, right? Yeah. Come on, let's go.
Anyway, get on the horse.
We
Get on
need
the
you to
horse,
follow
old
us
man.
into the swamp of death.
Yeah,
It will
so
kill
they
you.
lead him to the swamp of death, where he literally just immediately dies to the changeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody, and then half the other party gets stuck in quicksand because obviously all swamps are full of quicksand. And yeah, they have like this big scene where they one of the men gets taxed into the swamp of sadness. And while they're all rescuing him, the wizard gets their body stolen.
Yeah.
We also
because-
did gloss over the other wizard prank besides the small stools.
Oh, yeah, so the other wizard prank. Do you remember
Andy should maybe.
Yeah,
grab this.
Andy. Do you remember the wizard prank? In the cave?
Oh, right. So the guys who were earlier, bandits and known for thieving, when they go to visit the wizard's cave, it's full of lots of these green crystals, which are big and glowy and green, and they think, maybe we'll grab a couple crystals for ourselves.
Yeah, they
And then
call
when they
them
get to the swamp,
emeralds. Yeah.
oh, sorry, emeralds. And when they get to the swamp, they're like, wait a minute, these crystals aren't crystals anymore, and they're just rocks now. And you see the wizard just kind of look at him, and he cracks a little smug smile, and that's like his ultimate legacy, because he never gets to see where the fortress is. This never happens.
No,
like he gets Norded before he actually gets to see where it is.
Yeah, but so before he gets Norded by the changeling comes up to him in wizard form. And then our wizard friend says, "Is that you, bitch? Have you come for me?"
What was his actual name? It's like Quitch or Sitch or something.
It was Titch.
Titch.
That's not much better.
That's too close to bitch. It's too close to bitch. And with the tracking on my tape that broke immediately when that changeling showed up. No, he said bitch. I heard it.
The best part is, like, during that entire changeling sequence, like, it was messed up.
Yeah, no, it was. And then it fixed itself.
Yeah, from the moment the changeling shows up until the moment the changeling is gone was the only time that your tape was like really eaten, which just felt on point. It just kind of worked.
Man.
Yeah, so the wizard gets taken over by this horrible changeling thing. This also brings up like a point this movie does constantly where it's like, well, the only way to see the castle is to go and talk to the Emerald Seer. And then they go and see him and he's like, no, the beast is too powerful. But I have another only way that we can do it. I can go to the Emerald Chamber where my power is unassailable. And then he dies and they're like, oh, well, there's another only way to find the castle.
It's like the player characters keep picking a random direction to go, and the DM's like, fuck, I didn't write that yet.
God damn it. All right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you mentioned earlier, very, very DM, just trying to stall for time while they figure out where they can go from here.
Because the Emerald Seer gets taken over, and then he's like, oh, I can only have the person who's gonna seek the castle go into the chamber with me. Definitely.
Only Colwyn and I together.
The prophecy states that only the future king must expose his neck for a blade very quickly, but only I'm allowed to be here. Shut up.
and then the Cyclops just comes bounding in, right, and just throws his spear at him and stabs him from. Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah, we get a Deus Ex Cyclops because the Cyclops sees the body in the swamp of the seer just before that. So he's like, wait a minute, that's not the real seer. And suddenly they have no way forward. So the wise man goes, well, I guess I've got to go see my ex-wife.
Yes. Well, okay, so before he goes to see his ex-wife, the Slayers do kind of just pop up out of the swamp out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, they do.
There's a little battle.
There's a battle there. But during the battle, Ergo just kind of fucks off to go chat with the Cyclops while everybody else is killing the Slayers.
Yeah.
which is great.
Finally overcame the butterflies in his stomach.
He's like, "Oh, are we gonna hold hands, Cyclops? Oh."
Maybe we could be a friend.
And Cyclops is like,
Maybe.
You've already been my friend, Ergo. Oh.
We could move our Minecraft beds together. Haha, just kidding. Unless.
Yeah,
God.
and as they were walking into the swamp, they were asking each other what they would wish for some reason. And Ergo's like, I would wish for a Snickers bar. And then the boy that he's, carrying or that's with him, he's like, I would wish for a puppy. I love puppies. And we're like, oh, dog movie. Dog movie coming up. Told you, it's a dog film. Y'all, everybody listening to this podcast thought there was no dog in this movie. Ho, 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 ho.
They fucked up.
This is our wizard's trick on you.
Because after the swamp scene, Ergo turns into the cutest beagle / hound, like bloodhound puppy.
Yeah, it was like a beagle with like really short legs. It was like a munchkin beagle.
It's like Columbo's dog when they have the picture of Columbo with the dog. It's like that.
Yeah, and we had
really dog.
A synced
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the little boy gets to carry around Beagle Ergo for a while.
Yes. And then we go to see the ex-wife, I guess, of the guy who's like, hey, who gives a shit that your whole family's dead? Get on with it. We have a story to tell.
This was the one set that Andy was talking about earlier, which was the web. Because this is the widow of the web.
Yeah, his ex-wife got real into spiders after the divorce, and maybe killed their son. Who's to say? Grief does a lot of things to people.
God, they go for a real fucked up story with this one, don't they?
Really
this one is something else. Because he's going like, oh, well, I can see the widow of the web. And the main thief is like, what? She kills everybody. She's fucking awful. And he's like, yeah, my wife. That's my wife. That's her, all right.
The old guy is the first of a couple of wife guys in this movie, by the way.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there are a few.
The weird web orb that she lives in looks like Toad from the Super Mario Brothers movie. Like the weird, goopy, gross fungus that comes out of the ceiling. It looks exactly like that. But so... wife guy needs to cross the bridge of webs while a stop motion spider tries to get him, and he's got this timed obstacle course level that he has to complete, and if you don't complete the level then the game's over.
Yeah, because she does this weird thing where she says like he yells out her name when he's being chased by the spider, and she goes, I'll give you time. And she like turns over this big hourglass that she has in front of her.
Which does nothing.
It stalls the spider, but it's just... There's some weird shit with this. I kind of love the world building here.
I want to take the boulder sequence and the spider sequence and just put Mario Party music over top of them.
Yeah.
Oh my
God, it would fit really well. Minigame music.
But yeah, so he's got to cross this big rope bridge before the time goes out. He manages to get there just in time. And then, dun dun dun, surprise, it's his wife. Basically, like it's like, oh, it's his old lover.
Wife.
And she magically has the same name as the princess. And so she's like refusing to do anything for him. And then he's like, well, she has the same name as you. And it's just like when we were young. She's like, oh, before you left me, when I had our kid, and then I killed our kid because I was mad at you, but I wanted to kill something, so I had to kill the kid, and then I was like really sad about it, so I moved in with all the spiders. And he went, wow, okay, so that's fucked up. Anyway, can you help me?
Look, I need you to tell me the location of the castle. All right, shut up about the spiders. I don't care.
Kind of saving the world here, so...
Yeah, we don't have time for this. Look, I'll tell you where the castle is, but you can't leave because the spider will kill you. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, no, that's fair. But I really need to go. Oh, okay. 1 second while I break my hourglass. Here, snort this. It was in the hourglass.
Yeah, she hands him a handful of dust, which is apparently her life and also his, and it's symbolic, but not. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know where this was going, but...
I think that the symbology was she was like, in the hourglass is my life, and I can give you my life, and it can't kill you while you're me kind of thing. Like, will you have like grains of my life because it's not allowed to kill me?
Yeah.
And then it was like, but because you have it, it'll tie our lives together. And when the grains run out, when you drop the final grains, then you'll be gone. And he immediately like he grabs them and he's like, I can't hold on to them. And she's like, yeah, bro, it's like a fucking metaphor. I told you, it's like the grains of time. God damn it. This is why we're no longer married. You never listen, Jerry. You never listen.
Yeah. And as the sand's just like slowly falling out of his hand, he's like, what?
What? Go across the bridge, Jerry. God damn it. The spider's going to attack you if that runs out.
And
Yeah,
then
so
he
he-
gets to do the exact same obstacle course in reverse, except now he's holding sand, so it's just savage mode.
Yes.
It's even worse than like on Nick Arcade when you have to do the challenge at the end, but all you can see is the green screen. And they're like, oh, come on.
Mhm.
But he gets out with just barely enough sand to tell the crew where the castle is, and then he opens up his hand, and all the rest of the paprika that was in it falls out. And he's like, "Please spice your meals. Ugh, I'm dead now. Go. I have to leave this film."
This is about the part of the movie where people just start getting like very unceremoniously dropped off.
Oh yeah. They just
Oh,
start
yeah,
murking
yeah.
people left and right. They kind of kick it off a little bit in the swamp where they have the seer and like one of the guys drowns in the quicksand. But now they start just doing it like kind of unceremoniously. Like everybody just very quickly like, well, I'm dead now, I guess. Time for Joe to be dead. Like they find the fortress after they have to first grab fire mares because their
Fire
horses-
mares.
They
Yeah.
needed the upgrade. They didn't have the Varya suit to go into the
Mhm,
castle.
mhm. Yes. Yeah, so they upgraded their horses to fire mares, which can both run really fast like Sonic, create a trail of fire that burns everything in its path, and a horrible, destructive disaster of movement, and also fly or something. I guess.
Yeah, they
Whatever.
can just fly. Why not?
Yeah, I
Fire
love
mares.
that. I love that part because earlier on it shows them like rounding the horses up and cornering them and then like lassoing them and breaking them in kind of thing. And it's like,
Mhm.
wait, but they can fly. Why wouldn't they just fly?
The best part is while they're taming the horses, like there is no indication that these horses are special. These are literally
No.
just
No.
like horses. Capital
Yes,
H
just
horses,
horses.
nothing special about them.
Yeah, and then the minute they jump on them, now they start running with flame hoofs, which is
Right.
amazing.
But the Cyclops can't go with them because it's his time to leave the film. He
I've
has
got to
to
die
go
now.
I
Right.
need to die. All right, you go that way. If I go with you, I'll die. So I need to die here.
I
What?
can't fight my fate. I die here, not there.
That's the rules. I gotta die. I'm dying here.
Mhm.
All right, bye.
All right, you have your
I
fate,
guess-
man. Enjoy.
So Ergo and the Cyclops kiss, and then they leave,
Mhm.
leaving him behind. And after they fly to the fortress, they climb the Aggro Crag because they need to get there before dawn. So they climb up the Aggro Crag, trying to get the cool trophy piece that they don't actually fucking give you.
The plastic rock set here is
And-
really good, by the
yeah,
way. It's
and-
fantastic.
And then some monster trap doors open up, and there's slayers with guns sitting behind them. Like, haha, you weren't expecting this, were you?
They were very surprised by the fact that the Black Fortress, the place where the big beast bad guy lives, does in fact have people defending it. Weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knew? Weird. It's almost like he has an army of slayers or something, like we've known the whole movie.
So
So-
they're under fire and they
Yeah.
can't get in. Andy, do you remember what happened after that?
Yeah, the Cyclops, who said that he had to specifically stay there and accept his fate to die, then takes his own horse and shows up anyways and starts fighting because he had to die there specifically.
Right.
Deus Ex Cyclops, baby, one final
man.
time.
The Cyclops is like arguing with the DM the whole time too, because the DM keeps like doing damage. He's like, no, you didn't hit me.
Yeah, so at this
It's-
point, this was the moment when Joe the plumber
Oh,
finally
man.
just takes it in the gut
Oh,
and he
right,
dies.
Yeah, that guy
They
dies.
have-
He's like, I have to leave now.
Yeah,
journey ends
Andy
here.
was Andy was saying that really they're shooting them with like the I don't want to go on a quest anymore, Ray, because everybody would get shot and they'd go, "No, Joe, hold on." And he'd be like, "No, my travels end here. I don't want to travel anymore." And then it's like, "Oh, okay." And they just let him down. And then he just stops moving.
Then he's out of the movie.
He's out, yeah. But they keep shooting the Cyclops, and he just kind of shrugs it off and like
The
punches.
Cyclops wanted to keep going on his journey. They can't.
he
His
literally,
will
like-
can't be overcome by their "don't go on a journey" race.
Pushes the other main characters out of the way. He's like, no, let me get shot.
Yeah,
The DM, it's the DM very like politely trying
Oh
to
my
suggest
God.
if you go up there you're going to die, but I'll let you roll anyways. The only thing that will save you is a 20, and he just keeps rolling 20s.
Keeps rolling 20s.
Yes. And it's like, okay, I got shot in the shoulder, and it's like, okay, roll like fortitude save to like not, collapse or whatever. And he's like, yep, 20, 20, 20. And he's just shrugging off all of these laser bolts
damn
for
it.
like
You get
a
shot
minute and a
directly
half.
in the heart.
and then suddenly the DM just gets pissed. He's like, fine, the door fucking closes on you. You're dead. Stop it.
Yes.
The door
Yeah,
closes
it's like-
on you and the rest of the fortress teleports away with half of you inside of it. You are irreversibly dead. Go home.
He just gets sick of his shit.
Go home, Larry. Your character is dead. Elf Star is no more.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah. So he holds open the door to the castle as everybody races in as dawn comes, gets severed in half and crushed and everything. And they have quite a long death for him here. He gets pretty gruesomely
They do,
crushed in
yeah.
that door.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the rest of them are inside the castle, and it starts having the main thieves just start dropping like flies. I think this is where Liam Neeson gets it. Oh, by the way,
Yeah,
Liam Neeson's in this.
Liam Neeson's in the film, and also he's
Yep.
gone now. You don't need to worry
And also
about
he's
Liam
dead
Neeson.
now. Don't
He
worry
has
about
a
it.
very, very minor role.
Extremely, yeah. All of the
Yeah.
thieves at this point now become very much cannon fodder, where they just need to like raise the stakes. They just have a bunch of them
Oh,
getting
man.
shot all over the place.
Like,
Liam
there's
Neeson
one
dies
part-
immediately, and then go ahead. Sorry.
There's one part where they're crossing a bridge and
Yeah.
just a gunshot comes off from nowhere and the dude just falls off. He doesn't even get like a proper death scene. He's just
No.
gone.
Just a Wilhelm scream. He falls off the bridge, and it's like, all right, well, there goes
Oh no!
Oswin or
Craig's gone.
Quain
Oh,
or
jeez.
Meenog or these are all actual names from the ending, by the way. I remember them. I looked it up.
Oh, I miss Meenog.
Yeah,
That's my favorite character.
By the way, I actually remember who Meenog was. Meenog's the one that drowned in the
I
quicksand.
think he's the one that drowned in the quicksand.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
no.
Okay,
not Meenog.
so after Liam Neeson exits the film because he's done now and he's got his paycheck, then Ergo turns into a tiger to attack the
Yes.
Slayers and runs off with the boy.
Yeah, they get
who
separated.
has the jangle stick, the magic jangle stick. That's his job later, to jangle that stick.
It's very
Mhm.
important.
It's very important. But after he runs off, then Colwyn shows up at the dome where the princess
Yes, there's
is
a
being
big
held.
dome that she's being held in. Yeah.
And he's like, I know what to do. I've known of this day for many, probably days now. It's time
Yeah,
to
there's
use
no door or
the
anything
glaive
on
I've
it.
never used before.
Also,
he throws the
he
glaive, right? Like, oh, go ahead,
Mhm.
yeah.
and also specifically, he says he has to do this part alone from now on. Like, really? You sure
I
you
have
don't
to
want
do
any
this
help from the
alone.
guys
The
you've been
rest-
recruiting this entire movie?
The rest of you thieves go die somewhere off screen in a different location. Please.
Yep. We got to raise the stakes more. The body count isn't high enough. There's too many of you left alive. Please go.
So they walk into a spike trap room while he's dealing with this. But so he throws the glaive. He throws the magic glaive, the switchblade glaive. What the hell
Which,
would
of
you
course,
expect the
does what you
glaive
would
to
expect.
do? Yeah, what would you expect it to do in this situation? Like,
Well, obviously, automatically drone/power saw open a doorway inside of this giant dome that has no doors.
It's
In
been
this
hinted from the
fortress
start.
space
I
station.
can't believe you didn't pick up on that.
it's
Yeah.
a blowtorch. It's not
It's
a
a
glaive. Blowtorch is a fucking hole in the wall, door shaped.
It autonomously like saws open a door over like what 2 minutes? Or
It's a
is it
very
little
long
film
sequence,
time?
too.
Yeah. Like, and they show it like sitting there spinning, sparks flying off of it as it cuts through the like wall of this autonomously.
And the princess is like checking her watch as it's
Yeah.
going. Like, any day now. Come on, Colwyn. Fuck.
Oh fuck! It's so fantastic. So eventually he cuts a big door there. The other thieves are dying in their spike trap. One of them is already stabbed, and then the other two are still there. The only like named thief, who I don't remember the name of, the like thief leaders there.
Greg
And,
Lore.
yeah, like
his name is
some other guy.
Side Ponytail, but like the one that Jedi have in Phantom Menace. Yeah.
But as he rescues her, the beast like explodes out from the background, and it's like this giant fishman rubber monster guy. It's pretty amazing. And he starts spitting Hadokens out of his mouth at Corwin. Well, Corwin like shoots the glaive over and over. Like it just kind of autonomously flies where he wants. Like it's just a drone, right? Like he just kind of like motions his hand and it just goes where he decides it to go, and it cuts things. I don't know.
I mean, it's almost like he's using the power of the Xbox Kinect to control it, which I appreciate. But
it's like they really wanted to do a big battle sequence, but realized that the scale they did the beast at would not look good at all to have like an actual fight.
Oh god!
So they just kind of have him impotently waving his hand while the glaive does stuff for a bit.
But he pierces the beast with the glaive.
Yes.
In the chest. And then he tries to pull the glaive back out using his Kinect, and it won't work because the Kinect just won't register his hand. And it keeps telling him he's off screen. He needs to move closer and further away. He's like, fucking Kinect. Fucking piece of shit. This thing never works.
Please recalibrate. Please recalibrate.
So he's like, God damn it. I'll just go over and pick it up myself. But the beast isn't dead.
God, I love the fact that he's got his fiance. He's killed the beast, and he looks at her and he's like, "Should we escape this fortress?" Well, but I have the really cool fidget spinner though, and he like, I want to go pick up my glaive. Like he does this whole thing where he's like silently looks at her, and then he looks over longingly at the glaive, and then he kind of like glances at her, and he looks longingly at the glaive, and he's like, "No, I want the glaive."
There's more of a relationship going on between him and the glaive, I think.
It's true.
Way more chemistry between him and this weird drone knife thing than there is between him and his love interest. It's fucking fantastic.
But because
also,
the beast
pops up.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I want to point out that the glaive retrieval, like where he's trying to Xbox connect the glaive back to him, that takes another like full minute and a half.
So
he just
long.
keeps trying over and over and over again.
It's so
everything
long.
in this movie. There is. I really like this movie for a bunch of reasons, but like it's still really bad in a lot of ways. And one of them is that every single scene is extended by about 50% longer than it needs to be. Like everything is drawn out. Absolutely all of it.
He can't retrieve the glaive though because it's in the beast who is alive, and the automatic retrieval system isn't working anymore. So Princess Lissa, who we already know can create fire from her hand, because that's what they do to get married, is she creates fire from her hand. They're going to use the power of her marriage fire to transfer that power over to Colwyn by holding his hand, which is extremely, like, holy moly. Kids look away, they're holding hands.
It's very hot.
Yeah. But so then he gains the power to shoot Hadokens through his hand. And as
Yoga fire, yoga fire.
He's going. Yeah, he's shooting Hadokens back. Hadouken.
She basically teaches him how to do motherfucking infinite.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
He just infinites, and the beast is like, "Come on, bro, that's cheap. Come on, stop it, bro."
This is all you do in your house.
He just spams
and
that
Colwyn's
one
like,
move
Solve
over and over.
my fireball maze, fucker.
You're gonna learn today.
You keep shooting them. The beast's like, "You cheating piece of crap! If I wasn't on Wi-Fi, this wouldn't happen."
This is all in the movie, by the way.
It's my controller. God damn it! Yeah,
my controller became unplugged. I'm not playing anymore. Bye. The beast lights on fire, and he just torches the beast.
Yeah, he torches the beast, and then the beast unplugs his router. Yeah.
God, I I love how much it's like, oh, there's only one thing that can defeat the beast. It's going to be the glaive. And he gets the glaive and he does the thing. And then they're like, but there's actually one other thing that'll also defeat the beast. One only other thing. There's always only one thing that'll do the thing for the quest.
Yeah.
But then it falls apart and they go, oh, well, actually, there's another only one thing that's even more dangerous and even harder. And that'll do it.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It turns out
Every
the only
time.
thing that can defeat the beast is the sanctity of marriage.
Yeah. It's the
And
same
fire.
thing
Lots
as
of
marriage.
fire.
Lots of fire helps,
Lots
though.
of fire.
So, after they defeat the beast and he unplugs his router, that causes an unstable connection on the server. So the server starts just, like,
Crashing,
going wild and crashing. So they have to get out of
Everybody's
that
rubber
tower before the
banding.
server crashes. And as they're leaving, they find some blood on the ground. And Colwyn just, like, leans down, takes a fingerful of blood, licks it, smells it. That's Urgo's blood. I know that's blood anywhere.
Just is able to identify blood.
Yeah,
This is a thing he can do, by the way.
That he actually says, that's Urgo's blood, just kind of killed me.
Yeah, we can't leave without Urgo. Where will we find him? Is that a jangling in the background I hear? A jingle jangle? Because the boy's
Yeah,
like
kid with the
jingling
stick,
the
yeah.
chain on
Finally,
his stick.
Chekhov's jangle stick is paying off here.
So they find Urgo and drag him out. And there's like an extended 5 to 10 minute like Hyrule Castle crashing in Ocarina Time before you fight Ganon sequence. The end sequence of Ocarina Time is just
It's seriously like 5 straight minutes of just like boulder collapsing dot wave over and over again.
Yeah, and then after they get out, because there was an extended scene of them climbing up the castle too, and they're
Were they
at
like
the
a
top
mile
of the
high?
castle. Yeah, it's like a mile up. It's a mile up, but they use the power of Hadokens to break a hole in the wall, and then they don't do anything to show how they get down. There's a really extended scene up, but when they get down, they're just like, "Oh, we're down now. We did
Just
it."
one shot of them way like a mile above in the sky, and then we're on the in the field now.
And then it's another 5-minute extended scene of the castle just exploding and breaking. as the characters are just like, wow, that castle's really going, huh?
Floating back up into space, yeah. And
Huh,
they're just laying in
weird.
the field watching it.
Yeah.
And then eventually they frolic off into the field, and
They just
that's
frolic off.
the end
What
of
a
the
frolic,
movie.
too.
Credits.
And before they frolic, Urko's like, I should have stuck to puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Credits.
And
What a
So how did
film.
how did you like Krull, Boix, Andy?
Oh man, this movie is very silly and goofy. It feels like somebody's campaign that they just wrote out into a film. It really does.
this
Oh,
is
man.
the exact kind of movie that like maybe you get it from like a bargain bin at some point as a kid, and like you watch it and you think it's really cool.
Like
I'm just
you got it from a
extremely
bargain
pointing to
bin?
himself right now.
Yeah.
You take it out of a bargain bin, you watch it as a kid, you think it's really cool, and then you grow up and you realize, man, this movie is not great. It's entertaining, but it's not great.
Oh no, it's terrible, but I also still love it. Yeah, no, I didn't get it out of a bargain bin though. That is an extreme mischaracterization of how I got it, which was by using a tape and taping over the Law and Order that was on it while it was on cable television
No,
at
that
one
makes
point
sense, yeah.
for free. So I had lots of nice ad breaks in there. I do remember my version of Krull had a lot of tracking issues too, so it really pulled me back, honestly.
Yeah, watching this
There was
on
a lot of
VHS
pieces of it that were like just straight lost
Mhm.
on that Krull tape that I had. I remember that.
Now, watching this on VHS, I think it does add to the experience 100%. Like the fuzziness, the tracking
Yeah.
problems, like all that
Mhm.
stuff. It totally adds to the experience of Krull.
The reactive tracking making romantic scenes very sarcastic.
Oh, another romance scene, huh? Thanks, Phil.
I love
Thanks.
you, Corbin.
Oh, the changeling's on screen. Can't really see it, huh? God damn it, Tim.
God, when the changeling's eyes go
Man.
black and then the whole screen just like
Man.
shifts up and down 4 times really
Yeah.
quickly, it's like, okay.
That's just the prototype for like modern analog horror.
Yes,
It is,
exactly. Like
yeah.
it looks exactly like an Outlast or something. Like
Oh,
Outlast trailer 2009.
So funny.
Oh.
This it's very entertaining. It's super goofy, but like the shots are, it's good. It's well shot. There's a lot of helicopter shots they obviously spent a bunch of money on and decided
Well,
to use
baby,
all
are
of
there
their footage
helicopter
for.
shots?
But then there's good, like, there's matte paintings, there's models, like, man, there's so much stuff. I'm like, this is just cool.
Yeah, most of it is
cool.
practical.
The movie, I would say that the things this movie does really well, like unironically actually does quite well, is it has some really, really cool like set pieces and backgrounds, and the world building is actually kind of interesting. Like somebody, it's stupid and cheesy, but also like somebody really cared about this. Like that whole, they could have just had the Cyclops just be a Cyclops, but instead they have this whole backstory of like, oh, well, they're also weird space aliens and they gave up some of their power to like gain future sight, but also the Beast did this thing to like, it's all, it kind of feels very like the way that FromSoft game lore feels, where it's all like this kind of half explained weird bullshit that's like, it's not quite like, it's old school RPG style. Like FromSoft also is the same thing, where it feels like Might and Magic and wizardry games and things like that. Like you're saying it feels like a D&D campaign,
Ultima,
but it really does
I could
feel,
see
yeah,
Ultima,
exactly. Yeah. Like it really feels like the people that made this movie, whoever wrote it, played a lot of like tabletop and like old computer RPGs where they had to make up their own, like, oh, it's a Cyclops, but it's not like Cyclopses in other places. Mine stuff is unique. Here's my thing. Like they all have like their own little twists on things.
Our
right?
Cyclopses are perverts. They're looking to find love. They're different.
But there's like a lot of kind of weird natural world building in the background. Like I like the whole Widow of the Web thing was really neat too. I actually liked the story of that also, that it's like because she says that she's stuck in the web because they kind of make it out like that she's really powerful and that she's controlling the spider, but then she says that it's kind of her punishment for killing their son. So there's like this whole like dark thing about this world where it kind of feels like everybody has prices to their power, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like
I almost wonder if they had like a lot more planned for it and they had to slash like either the script or the budget and had to cut some stuff out as a result. That's what it kind of feels like to me.
Kind of feels like it, yeah. Because some parts are rushed, but they're rushed extendedly.
It almost
edited some stuff to get time back for sure, but I don't know.
It almost feels like they had to do all those extra mountain climbing shots just because they didn't have the budget to do what was there originally. So like they just kind of like, we'll stretch this out, make it more of an Odyssey type thing.
Yeah, which is wild considering how much budget actually went into this film, which apparently was very much like rivaling or maybe even higher than another movie that came out that year that you might know called Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So, this thing had some money behind it for some fucking reason. There's no big actors in it or anything either. So, like, all that budget basically had to be the special effects and things, right? Like,
yeah, Liam Neeson was not a known.
No, this is like his first film role.
He's not even on the box. They don't even mention him. Yeah.
He has like 2 lines in the whole movie.
I haven't heard of a single actor in this film. I swear, none of them. Literally none of them except Liam Neeson. So it's like, I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, it's interesting. I like a lot of the world building and stuff that they did. Like it feels like somebody put, even if it's very cheesy a lot of the time, somebody put a lot of care into this and really thought that it was very cool. Like you said, it feels like some going over to some nerd's house and them just being like, oh, okay, see, and then like all of my characters made like level 20s and we went off and then we fought the Beast, but like the Beast was only part of the way there and we had to do this quest on the way. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's somebody like very excitedly telling you about their, man, Jill, and then we went this way and the DM didn't know how to solve it. So there was this widow in this web and there was this weird spider that came after us and like, this whole thing.
All right, Jill
and the
wants
Cyclops
to join the
kept
party,
rolling 20s.
We gotta wait. We gotta wait. I'll bring you in later. Yeah.
There was this amazing moment where the DM just kept on trying to kill Craig and his Cyclops character, but Craig just kept rolling 20s the whole time. It's like, it's just got like a lot of that energy and it's just very I don't know. There's something very
Oh,
charming
man.
about it, even when it's very stupid and very bad. Because there's a lot of boring sequences in this movie, but
There's sequences like before they get to the castle where they're also like, hey, they're traveling. Look, now they're traveling here. Hey, they're still traveling. Isn't that
We're
cool?
on horseback somewhere else now.
Look how much else they're still traveling. We're almost there. Or are we? We're still traveling. And they keep doing it. It's like, come
There's
on.
probably 10 minutes of climbing
Yeah.
in this film also.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. But okay. Krull.
All right. Krull.
It's a film.
It's a film.
We watched it.
It's a film. There's a dog in it.
There's a dog. It counts. Speaking of which, we have to rate the dogs. I counted
We do
2
have to
dogs,
rate the dogs.
technically.
Yes.
One is Ergo Puppy.
Yes.
Ergo Puppy is adorable, short little legs, huge ears, likes to waddle and get held and get pets. Would rate Ergo Puppy very highly at a 13 out of 10. That is my rating for Ergo Puppy.
I would give Ergo a 9 -1 just because he is also Ergo.
Oh, that's true.
Wow.
Wow.
But aside from that,
I'm saying that this puppy is short of stature but tall of cuteness. So that's where my rating goes.
And then the second dog that I counted was the Beast, who does not respect wizards pondering orbs at all.
Absolutely not.
Has a weird mind palace that he keeps a princess in, which might also be his anus. I don't know what was up with that.
We should
really mention
really
that,
quickly. We should mention the palace. The palace is like
what?
It's
body horror
confusing.
zone. Yeah,
it's like in his body, but it's not. But places close, and it looks like sphincters, and I don't know what's happening.
Like it's rock on the outside and meat on the inside for some reason.
What?
Yeah, I love the design of this thing. Like, she's in a room that looks like an eye. Like, it zooms out a lot and it shows it like an eye and a face, and she's like looking out a window, like she's in the middle of like the pupil of a gigantic eye. And then when she's running around the palace, there's like all these weird bone structures, but they're all like twisted and deformed, and doors close behind her like you said, like it's meat or bone. It feels very organic. It's really it's an interesting design. I actually really like the palace.
The Beast also can shoot Hadokens, but that's the only move he knows, and he doesn't know how to counter somebody that can also shoot Hadokens. I would rate the Beast, by the way, a scrub quotes out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, the Beast is like, he can't deal with Hadokens, like basic range gameplay, which he literally just learned that like a minute ago, by the way. He can't deal with that. He doesn't respect women. He doesn't respect wizards. Like I have no time in my life for this man. Negative 100 out of 10.
I'm good.
Not gonna rate the Beast. All right.
Listen, I'm not gonna come after my man, the Beast. He's just going from planet to planet. You know, he's offering infinite power. He just keeps on dressing her in really cool solar panels. He just wants her to wear a very cool solar panel dress, and she's just very mad about it. I don't know.
Beast shows up to the tournament and then throws the controller, and the whole tournament turns at once as the controller is thrown, seeing the Beast walk out. That's what happens.
He's that dude
Every
slamming
time.
his fight stick down on the ground the minute that he loses. Yeah,
every time.
You're not wrong.
Oh man. Well, that's it. That's Krull. That's our episode.
Krull.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Krull's an entertaining movie, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's worth a watch if you like old fantasy type stuff, and you have there's a lot of references, I think, like you said, like in later video games and things that you can actually pull out of Krull, like Dark Sector and things like that, because that was very much a Krull reference. So there's little bits and pieces like that you can kind of see from various other media, because people have been inspired by Krull. It does really, I do think, I will actually go to bat legitimately for Krull on its like kind of world building and set design. I think that stuff was really good. I thought that it does a really cool job of some of that. Like the writing and the actual characters and the acting and stuff is pretty abysmal, but just like the care and love of this weird D&D campaign world that they made is just kind of enjoyable enough to watch, where it's, I don't know. I like weird bullshit like this, and it goes very hard into, like, oh, I've got the +5 power sword. I'm gonna throw it at the big beast, and it's gonna like zoom back and forth, like multiple times. So the way that drone chops down like rocks to block the beast's path, and like the glaive just does anything that they want at any point that they want it to, and it just rules. It's this stupid power fantasy, and it just works.
But
it's
yeah,
a lot of fun when you're 8 years old and you can watch it on your VHS tape.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can check us out on Twitter at roughcutscast. If you have any suggestions, fan art, whatever, you can also email us at roughcutscast@gmail.com. We had AndyAML here as a guest. Thank you again. Do you have anything you want to plug, Andy, or anything you want to mention?
Yeah, I guess I'll just say I got a Twitter account, twitter.com/AndyAML, and a Twitch account, twitch.tv/AndyAML. I stream and I post on Twitter sometimes. That's it.
Cool. Yeah, y'all should check out Andy for sure. Good stuff. But that's it for this week. So we'll be back next week, getting real close to that 100 episodes. So.
Oh God.
No.
I gave you some ideas for the 100, so we should have something very special planned. All right, we'll see you then. Yeah, finally my master plan is unveiled. 97 fucking episodes of setup, and now we finally get to the real movie, Krull.
As big as a mountain. No, that's a bit greedy. I'll settle for one as big as a house.
I'd wish for a puppy.
Only one puppy? If you're wishing, why not wish for 100?
Dog.
I only want one.
Oh, that's a foolish wish.
Dog movie now.